to start off, what is your opinion of sniping mechanics in general, and then how it boils down per game as like as something to represent as a skill set in shooter games?
I think they're fine. Some games I think do them not that well. We'll get to that in the Arch video probably.
Probably, yeah.
But I don't think they're like inherently wrong.
Okay. That's a pretty good baseline then, because I have the same opinion. I think it's very dependent on how the game itself is made, and like it's a per game basis essentially. Yeah. The common theme that you'll see, as I'm sure you've gathered from like hearing TF2 discourse about it, is that sniping is bad outright and just shouldn't be in games, period.
Yeah.
For various reasons that are
one-shot you.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of details about it.
We're going to get to that. That's not even an issue with the TF2 community. I feel like it's more of just them LARPing as in other communities. But we're getting too far.
Yeah, it'll be obvious, especially as the videos we watch become more and more derivative of each other and repeat the same things. Of which this one is definitely guilty of, because I think this guy just pulls from the Arch video and the P-Bean video, but that's why we're starting with it, because this is like the most base type of thing, I suppose. Plus, it's under 20 minutes, so...
Yippee!
Let's have at it here.
Snipers and PvP shooters are one of the many categories of guns that are implemented to add variety in weaponry, and as a result are supposed to make the game more fun to play. But in reality, the only thing they seem to provide are problems. I mean, take one look on the internet and there's no shortage of discussions and debates about them. There are many aspects of snipers people have a problem with. However, my gripes of snipers are an all-encompassing criticism of them.
Wait, can we go back and see what the Reddit post says? I want to see what the Reddit post says.
Look on the internet and there's no...
There's like a...
My video lagged.
There was like a scroll of Reddit posts or something.
Yeah.
I don't see what it said.
But in reality, the only thing they seem to provide are problems. I mean, take one look.
Okay, let's see. Sniper is balanced.
It's not this. It was like when they had like all the games listed. That's what I was thinking. But like, yeah, this is like typical.
Yeah,
no,
this is like typical TF2 discourse.
Debates about them. There are many.
Let's see. Modern Warfare, Black Ops Cold War.
So 2 Call of Duty games, a game that isn't alive because it was kind of shit in Fortnite. Okay.
I mean, I don't know what you know about, because I know you know way more about Call of Duty balancing, especially like over the course of the franchise.
I would agree with snipers not being balanced in Call of Duty, but I think that's a topic for later. X Defiant, not a good game. Nobody played it. It's dead anyway. Fortnite, when I played Fortnite, I don't think snipers were that bad. If anything, I think snipers were too weak in Fortnite.
Well then.
Aspects of snipers.
Because in Fortnite, a lot of them have one bullet, and in a game where you can build a 5-star hotel in 4 seconds, I don't think a 1-bullet sniper is going to do anything. It's only really good if you're like picking off an enemy from afar, and it's one enemy, not even like 2. It's just not that good in Fortnite. But it's like,
from what I've seen,
you can make it good I don't think you can make it good in Fortnite. So it's better to have it be weak as shit than not. Be overpowered. So
from what I've seen, when I see other people play it, it's not something that I like. It doesn't seem like a very effective method long term, as much as like getting in people's faces.
For last time I played, they probably changed it. That game changes every 4 minutes. The last time I played Fortnite, the meta was to grab a rifle and a shotgun, and the rest of the slots in your inventory be healing or grenades or like something that like you would be effective in fights, because it's a battle royale game and you kind of want to manage resources. Yeah. And I think the shotgun is just the shotgun. It's really good. It's like the close range weapon. I feel like SMGs suck in that game because the shotgun is like always better.
It's always funny to me too, because like I guess we'll get to it when they talk about how weapons are designed, but I've always found it funny that that shotguns are like the weapon that's only for close range and then like fans out into becoming garbage, because in real life shotguns aren't actually like that at all. They maintain their cluster of pellets pretty well, if they're like well-built weapons. And so a part of me wonders like how much a sniper gripe would be in video games if shotguns were just actually designed to keep their cluster very tight like they are in like classic Doom or something.
I think we could probably say that we're probably grateful that shotguns don't work like that in games, because it would just be getting shot from halfway across the map with a weapon that's like doesn't have a scope on it, and that would feel really miserable if you're like on the receiving end of it.
I don't know. I'm of the opinion that if every weapon could do an insanely high amount of damage, then at least you know what you're getting into. But
I mean, yeah, fair, but I feel like a shotgun from like that far would be like, I mean, this seems like more like a sniper's job, not like a shotgun's job.
Yeah.
It would probably make weapons like an assault rifle obsolete by default. So at that point, it would just be more of video games shouldn't have shotguns if it messes with the rest of the balance.
Yeah. It would very much depend.
The close range factor of shotguns is what balances them, which we're going to get into that later when we talk about Call of Duty and why snipers in that game are shit. Anyway,
yeah.
People have a problem with. However, my gripes are
well, we'll just move on.
There was a list.
Let's just move on. I don't think it matters. We'll probably figure it out.
Probably. I just want to see. Okay.
problem with.
Counter-Strike.
Oh, Valorant, not a real game. Not a real game.
And Apex, from what I saw.
How is that a problem with snipers, though? If every weapon can one-shot in Counter-Strike to the head with armor, or like almost every weapon, why does that matter?
Yeah. It's just...
Also, bro is leaving out the auto-sniper. Actually, no, that's probably fair. The auto-sniper is evil. Anyway, the TF2 one. No. We don't need to worry about this one.
Yeah, well, because it's for the most part it is true. Like if you can get that close to a sniper, he should die, and if you can't get him and he gets it is most certainly a skill issue, even with like something like Girardi.
If the sniper kills you from that close of range, it's just like he kind of deserves it.
Yeah.
If he was able to connect a shot, it's like that's like in pretty much almost any game except one. We'll get to it later. That's like in any game, right? If the sniper can kill you in close range, they kind of just deserve it.
Yeah,
because like they don't really have a weapon to like counter it.
That's why I've always disagreed with Pikachu Frankie's idea of the damage reduction that's like sniper might want to have, because like you also have to consider that when you're that close to a sniper, like even if you're like moderately close to him, you are already benefiting from damage ramp up, which goes all the way up to 150% at point blank. So like if you already have a damage bonus on top of being within like his effective weakness, and if you can't capitalize on that, you suck.
It would also like make sniper worse at farther ranges than already. Like unironically, reverse. I'm not saying it's good, but reverse damage fall off would be a better suggestion than that, because at least reverse damage fall off, it makes sniper more effective at the ranges that are further.
Yeah, but I have a gripe with that anyway, because that's not how bullets. That's not how bullets work. That's not how any bullet should work ever. That's just stupid.
I know. I don't agree with it either, but it would be better than what Pikachu Frankie said. Yes.
To be honest, I don't know why the crossbow is designed that way for medic. I think the only reason he's like that is because I think the only reason it's designed like that is for the healing, and then it just accidentally affected the damage as well, and it was never addressed.
Oh well.
However, my gripes of snipers
I can't wait till we go to Apex Legends. That's going to be funny for me to rant about, because I have takes on that. Anyway,
encompassing criticism of them as a whole. I am very much a shooter games guy, having spent thousands of hours across a myriad of shooters from differing genres. And I say all this because I want you to know that I formed such a
have authority, trust,
because of my extensive experience with them. So, let's begin with what is unmistakably the most contentious quality of snipers: their tendency to be an absolute balancing nightmare. Snipers as a concept are weapons that specialize in having high damage and high range. This makes them extremely susceptible to being mishandled when it comes to game balance, because at its extreme, high damage means one-shotting anybody, and high range means outranging everybody. And you can quickly see how that can...
This is like, obviously, like not even factoring in that it takes an incredible amount of skill to pull off aim consistent enough for that to be an issue. And even then, that's per player. But it's never talked about because apparently aim is just really easy for some reason.
There's also just like ignoring the fact that a lot of these games, at least a lot of the good games that he's talking about, have ways to counter snipers in ways that aren't even weapons.
Yeah. Like I know that
he puts Counter-Strike footage in this area, and smoke grenades and flashbangs will really easily counter an op or a scout.
Yeah.
And I would say counters the auto sniper, but nobody buys it because it's kind of shit.
And then, of course, with TF2, you have entire classes that are designed.
Actually, it's not even that the auto sniper is shit. It's just that, like, why would you pay almost $5,000 for a weapon that if you die with, you're like actually fucked for the rest of the match?
Yeah, because you've blown so much money.
It's just not worth it.
Yeah,
it's just not worth it.
That's honestly why whenever I play with you, I just stick with the scout because I know it's not great like the op, but
the op is fine because the op like it's not so expensive. You can actually recover when buying an op. But, like when you buy and you get what you pay for, but with the auto sniper, it's just like I don't know why. It just doesn't feel like you one-shot headshots consistently, and it also just like
what's the name? What's the proper name for that weapon again? Is that the Scar or
I don't even the Scar 20, but there's also the T auto sniper. I don't. They're like the same weapon. I just call them the auto snipers.
Oh, okay. And when we're talking about CS, we're talking like about CS:GO and CS2. Like, are they the same?
They're pretty similar in the sense that like it doesn't really matter.
Okay. I only ask because like he'll only talk really about
the only difference. The op does function. The snipers do function differently in CS:GO and 2 than they do in 1.6 and Source, but I'm pretty sure he's talking about 2 and Go here, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Lead to a weapon that is both overpowered
because who plays 1.6,
right? With that being said, I believe that
people do, but the issue is that playing that game is actually hell.
Oh,
it's hell because the server browser sucks shit. Because it's filled with spam Russian servers. So if you want to play 1.6, you have to get a game night together.
Yeah, you gotta find like those pug servers like they have for TFC.
Yeah, they're really hard.
Okay.
But like, or either that, or you find some like random zombie mod or jailbreak server, and then you cry because you can't play the actual game. Anyway,
stem from two general issues that require specific attention, but are often inadequately addressed. That being a sniper's effective range, and the options to effectively counter a sniper. As a general rule, the role of a sniper is the antithesis of the role of a shotgun. Sniper, long-range engagements. Shotgun, close quarters combat. That should be obvious, right? Unfortunately, developers seem to have a hard time confining snipers to their role, and often perplexingly make snipers
I think using TF2 footage as a way to describe shotgun footage or shotguns is like kind of weird, because in TF2 the game is more balanced around shotguns than like other games. Yeah, I wouldn't say a shotgun in TF2 is the same as like one in Counter-Strike or like Call of Duty or like any of these other games, because they're not the main weapon.
Yeah, and even still, it's like the shotguns. The shotguns inherently are kind of weaker relative to how shotguns would be in other games because they're mostly secondary slots for the big heavy classes that use them. Like it's not like,
or better yet, they're more of like big chunk chip damage weapons rather than like,
but they're only chunk chip damage in like very close range if you really want to use them that effectively. True. Like when I get the most mileage out of any shotgun in the game when I'm playing Pyro, because I can air blast someone into a corner and then shotgun them and basically take them out that way.
That's why the panic attack is really good on Pyro. It's because it works really fucking well for that.
Yeah, but like, I mean, even relative to how other shotguns work in other games, I would say the classic Doom shotgun is better because the spread is decreased and the damage is higher. You can snipe in certain cases with the shotgun, and it helps against cacodemons, especially with the super shotgun. But that's also because the super shotgun it's different. It's just built different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's its own thing.
Every range, even at close range, where they're supposed to be least effective at.
This is a complaint that I never understand is the sniper rifles are effective at close range. Like, yeah, it's a bullet. What did you expect? It's like that's like complaining about anything else.
In
and
some
I know
games they are really too effective in close range that it outclasses like shotguns, but we're gonna get to that later. It's not the games he's talking about though.
If you don't use them at close to mid-range. But snipers, on the other hand, are often seen in many shooters being used at mid or even close range, and a great effect.
This is... I don't understand this particular example because this is just a case of the player he's killing having no idea like what's going on.
I don't think this is even a PvP game. I think this might be a PvP. I never played Plants vs. Zombies, but I don't know if this
on top of that, for most guns, you can simply just walk out of their effective range. Meanwhile, that's
not even true. I genuinely, that is not even true. In depending on the game,
like,
of course.
If you know the player is using a shotgun beforehand, then you could definitely keep your distance. But if you're like mid-fight, you're just not doing that.
This also, but it also assumes too that the player with the shotgun isn't going to also find a way to get you in their effective range. Like they're not going to find a way to get to you.
That implies that they're standing still like a lobotomite.
Yeah, this is the problem. This scenery right here, even the scenery of the video. This is my entire problem with the argument, is that everything anyone talks about exists in a vacuum because they don't explain it any farther than the vacuum. It's stupid.
Yeah. Although I will say, one positive thing about this video, the presentation of the MS Paint looking at stuff is keyno. Anyway,
yeah, it is pretty cool, yeah.
It's not possible to walk out of the effective range of a sniper because it's practically infinite. What I'm getting at...
That is not even true, actually. And I actually could say that with, like, my own experience playing pre-Fortress 2 with the custom maps. There are times where you could walk so far away that a sniper is useless because the dot is too big to actively... to actually be used as a measure for range. Like, you can't headshot at a point. So there is a limit to range in general. I hate it when people, like, I know what people mean when they say infinite range, but it's just a little pet peeve of mine to hear that, because it's technically very dishonest.
This is also just kind of ignoring the fact that some of these games have hit scan weapons, some of these games use actual projectiles for their bullets to have, like, travel time and stuff like you would in real life, so...
Yeah.
I don't really think that's, like, ideal.
Like, I don't know if it has a multiplayer, but I remember playing the Ghost Recon's Wildlands because it was just installed already when I got the PS4 that I have. And those sniper rifles, I think all of the sniper rifles have bullets that are projectiles, basically, because I had to account for wind and drop-off. And that was, like, a big important thing in certain levels. And it makes sense, and I know it was single player, but even then it made sense because the game is very much centered around, like, a realistic stealth, like, Black Ops group, essentially trying to go through.
Chances are, if the game is realistic, or like visually similar to real life, it will probably use it will probably use projectile bullets to simulate bullet velocity.
Yeah. That's probably every bullet now that I think about it, but for the rifles especially, because I remember kept getting stuck on one part where you have to essentially get a helicopter out of a stronghold of some kind, and I went up to a tower to snipe out the other towers, and it was difficult because up until that point I had never played a game that actually, like, forced me to account for wind and bullet drop off. Yeah. But it was really fun when you did it, because if you nailed that guy in the neck, dude, it was so freaking satisfying.
Yeah, I will say I think bullet velocity is, like, really cool if it's in a game, because it's like, man, that shot was way harder otherwise. Yeah.
But at that point, too, like, that's something that I have when people bring up, like, oh, past a certain range, all snipers should have that be their bullet thing. And, like, not only is that impractical to develop for, but at that point, why not make every bullet in the game function like that and just change the engine from the ground up to accommodate?
It's also just really unintuitive for players, or even, like, especially new players. They're not going to know about it until, like...
And at that point, it disincentivizes Sniper further, because what you can do is then, like, people bring that up as a genuine fix for TF2 Sniper, right? And since that's, like, the focus of my video, that's what I think of a lot when watching these videos. And I'm like, if the TF2 Sniper had, like, Lucid brought it up in a UFR, I think, and I think Zesty Jesus was, like, talking about it with him too. But, like, if Sniper past a certain range had his bullets suddenly turn into a projectile and, like, were susceptible to drop off,
that just isn't programmable.
It's not even, because, like, Source wouldn't be able to manage that, but then also...
I don't even think that's programmable, period.
It would disincentivize... I don't understand how that would work. It would disincentivize using Sniper as a sniper, and it would incentivize other classes to use their, like, secondaries against him, because those bullets will always be accurate. They don't have fall-off.
Yeah, true.
And even at maximum...
I don't think it would work that well, because, like, a lot of these don't have first-shot accuracy, or, like Engineer's Pistol, or, like, the Scout and Engineer's Pistol. I don't think that would be that practical, because, like, it's not going to hit him half the time, but it is annoying.
Yeah, and even if you add on top of that something that a lot of other people think would be good as a conjunction to other nerfs, which is actually having damage fall off for sniper bullets, period. Like, that would be insane to have bullet drop and damage fall off for sniper. Like, you would get nothing done. You wouldn't actually be a threat, especially if there's a medic around. Like, it doesn't
sniper, so they wouldn't know how it would feel.
it would be terrible. It would be genuinely terrible. Like, Sniper wouldn't be able to actually take care of sentries appropriately. He wouldn't be able to get heavies who are, for the most part, countered by Sniper if a spy can't actually get over there. like it's very it's very, I've done a lot of math on it that I'll like reveal in the video, but it's very important that Sniper maintain the power that he does, and that's why he was designed with the power that he was back in Quake, because he is meant to maintain a certain threat level to where not even the most buffed of mercenaries can like stand his ground for long enough. And that's part of the game being designed around team functions. Like, the game is still designed to be played as a team. And so a lot of workarounds for pretty much any threat is genuine teamwork and at least mild communication. And that also is something that no one takes into account when talking about snipers in any video game I find, especially Counter-Strike, which is weird because you'd think that people would communicate, like what player has the high-powered rifle. Like, if somebody dies and they're like, oh, this guy has the op, just be aware. Like, I thought that, right. I would think that that's a tactic.
It is a tactic, but there's a difference between a 5-stack and a 5-stack and having random teammates.
Oh, yeah.
That's just 5 stacks are like, they would definitely do that, but like a random, like if you're in like a random pug, right, you just don't expect people to do that because like not everyone has a mic, or they just don't, or they can't speak, or they just don't.
It's like casual in TF2 where no one communicates.
Yeah, it's just that like shit happens, but that's like every game. In a way. It's like every game in a sense. Every multiplayer game, it's like you don't really expect people to talk, but if you're the one giving callouts, you are making a difference. So
okay, I guess I'm spoiled by you then, because like every time I play, it's with you and your voice channels, so like everyone's communicating.
Oh yeah. I mean, our voice channels are actually just clusterfucks, though, because we're on like when you give a callout, you're giving it to the enemy team on accident because it's it's kind of funny. Yeah, it's not supposed to be that serious though. It's not that deep.
Yeah. It is pretty fun though, because then like it does make for some hilarious.
It's really funny. It is really funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
the most competitive games we've had were when we just like separate the voice chats and we're like, oh, okay, yeah, for this one match that's going to last like a little under like 40 minutes, we're gonna like be locked the fuck in.
Oh, that'd be sick. I want to join one of those. I'd love to do that. That's sick. Because that's how the guys. Like when I've played Quake Team Fortress with some of the old guys, they're like they have a bot that separates them. For them.
But the funnier thing, it would be funny. It was really funny when I think I would rather just use in-game chat, but it's really funny that we have halftime voice chat on and everyone just starts talking shit to each other as a joke.
Yeah.
Like because on CS, at least before, I think it was like 2016, they had all talk on for whenever in competitive games you were switching to sides to CT or T, you would have like all talk on and you just all talk shit to each other until the rounds, the next half started.
Type of gun that has a time to kill of 0 seconds that also outranges
0 seconds,
kind of gun. It sort of completely supplants.
I mean, okay, in a vacuum he's right, but that doesn't account for the time that the guy has to point the gun at you and click the button.
Yeah. It's pedantically correct in the sense of how hit scan works, but like if we're being realistic, like even Fat Magic has talked about it, like the greatest sniper player in TF2, right? He's talked about it when he makes videos about like training, where it's like the time to kill is really how well you can set up the next shot, and like it's somewhat easy relative to other things, but it's very difficult to pull off consistently, especially in like higher pressure situations towards the end of a game, any game. So
making matchups against snipers a very one-sided battle. I'm obviously being a bit hyperbolic though. Snipers are not better in every situation, and other types of guns all have benefits unique to themselves that a sniper can't replicate, which is what
I don't think anyone is buying the Negev in CS. Why would you buy an LMG? It's not worth it.
I was thinking that too,
On some maps, maybe. In some maps, maybe, but not in this one. Mirage does not work like that.
All the guns, of course. However, my point is that when snipers are given unrestricted effective range, they often can do the job of other kinds of guns better in quite a few situations when they really shouldn't. Because their ability to one-shot at any range means they'll always have a range advantage.
Damn. What do we do?
This clip in particular, I was so confused about, because I'm like, aren't there other routes to take? What do you mean, what do we do? Just don't walk by the door.
The issue of these guys is that they're taking Dust 2 mid doors as a way to go through the map. On Dust 2, you don't do this. What you do is you go to A or B, and if you want to cross through mid doors, you'll probably get there first. Because unlike 1.6 in Source, there's like a little thing that, because in the original versions of this map, there was no like little like building connector, but connecting the buildings in like the building to the left and the building to the right. So you could just snipe from the spawn.
Oh. Huh.
So yeah, it would be harder. It would be harder in this. It would be easier to say this in like 1.6 in source, but in this game, you have a T has to jump down into suicide, which is what it's actually called. Because if you get counter-sniped, you're just fucked. It's a one-way ticket to death because at least on CT side, you have room to move. On T, you're stuck in like a corridor. But the thing is that you should not be pushing directly up into mid like this. If they're on mid, if you see them at the top, you should not be doing this. This is like lobotomite. This is like brain dead behavior.
So this whole thing is stupid on its face. I also noticed too that like the guy that killed, he has a sniper rifle, but the CTs don't have rifles, which means that they've been getting
why would they peek
they've
that?
been getting their crap
I'll be honest,
pushed
it is,
in for the whole game.
Actually, now that I think about it, right, how the fuck did he afford an op? Actually, no, wait, he did. He probably knifed someone in the first round, but the thing is, right,
well, it means that this clip, in like if you think about it in context, can't. It's like there's already a leverage of disadvantage anyway, so this further complaint is just
true. Because the guy got knifed the earlier round, he got a big kill reward, and he did the unwritten law of buying the op even when you should not buy the op on second round.
Yeah. So this clip can't be used seriously. It's so stupid.
Not really, yeah.
Everything that makes this happen is just silly.
It can happen, but like to use this as like an argument against the weapon, it's like what?
I think there's bigger problems than the fact that the op was
bigger problems at hand than the sniper.
Yeah. It is funny too, yeah, because I was thinking about that at the time. Like, I don't know much about Dust because I haven't like played it properly, really, outside of like a 24/7 server in CSS. But like, how I genuinely thought, like, why would anyone want to camp that door out? That's not the best route.
It is a useful strategy because you see the ways from B site to A site. You see the connecting way from the CT side. It is a viable strategy, but in this scenario, it's like, why would you push up? Like we could see that the guy was clearly walking through the door.
Yeah. It's just,
and if you're pushing through, like you can go to A from the middle area through the catwalk. If you wanted to do that, you would throw a smoke from your spawn. Yeah. You can like do a jump throw and you hit on the doors. But yeah, it's just everything about this clip is like, what?
It's so strange.
This is not the sniper's fault. It's your fault.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways.
Right, we can unpause the video here.
And it'll always have a faster or equal time to kill against every other kind of gun, no matter the distance. Now, snipers being too effective at every range is a big issue, but an even bigger issue is the problem of snipers not having proper counters.
That's just stupid. That's so irresponsible.
He says,
just because anything is weak in one situation does not mean it can't be too strong in a different situation.
This is a silly point because duh, but also like what does that even mean?
I mean,
just because something is weak doesn't just because something is weak doesn't mean it also isn't strong in other situations. Like, no kidding. That you're saying nothing.
You can make that like the case of. You could probably even make that case with a gas passer in TF2.
Yeah, you could make this about virtually anything if you play it right.
No, I don't think the gas passer would be a good fit, but
maybe an MVM.
Like a lot of the other weapons. Okay, an MVM, sure, but like I don't think we're counting MVM here.
No, we're not. It's just this whole point is stupid, and that he leverages it as like some big point. Like, we're gonna watch this PBean video as well, but like this guy with his video, he's talking about it in the sense of like how smart this is.
On? What the fuck? Damn. Yeah. Okay.
He's definitely got that like green screen millennial presentation going.
That's actually kind of Kino. Anyway, yeah. We should talk.
And I'd like to use this point since he is completely correct. It's an important piece of the puzzle when it comes to why snipers are often so difficult to play against. Even when developers solve the issue of snipers being viable at distances where they shouldn't be by
the hard part too is that it's hard to counteract a lot of things that he's talking about because he's already starting off so much with certain things just being true. Like, he's like, this is true. And as a result, things he says require development of a fundamental that he just will not develop because he's already assuming you agree with him. And it just makes it very difficult to watch.
the thing is, right, if he's saying that there's no counters, like if we use TF2, right, if there's no counters to Sniper in TF2, I think that's just false because you have Spy, you have Scout, even Pyro can work pretty well because he's like more flank built.
Oh yeah,
that's at least 3 counters right there,
and opposing snipers. So you have to also remember.
I mean, yeah, you also have other opposing snipers. So even if we exclude the opposing sniper and we assume the other team doesn't have a sniper, the sniper can still be very counterable.
Yeah, and even depending on the map, other classes work as well too. Like on Harvest, I found that using Soldier and Standard Demo Man actually works pretty well if you just time your blasts properly. Even actually, like if you just fire rockets to distract the main sightlines and you just walk into the building, you could actually get pretty decent leverage against the team. Even
honestly, what is a viable strategy, right? Because I usually on Harvest you would assume that there's another sniper on the enemy team. What actually works up for me is I just rocket jump up there and it works really well because it throws them off entirely.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It's funny, I actually have a clip of downing a sniper as a medic, because turns out medic's running speed is actually pretty helpful. If you use the crossbow, you could just try to distract with something that the sniper knows is going to damage him heavily because of the reverse damage fall off. And you could just stroll in with the Uber Saw and just break his back, because for some reason the Uber Saw is really random crit susceptible. And it's great. Yeah. It's great.
Things such as having to wait up to charge up damage of a sniper, slow aim times of scopes, inaccurate hip firing, or whatever it be, it should also be the case that counters of snipers are available on top of that. Without them in a shooter, using a sniper will rarely incur much risk.
This is all assuming that there weren't counters in those situations. Your team just didn't leverage them properly. You idiot.
Yeah, like in the case of TF2, the charge mechanic is a way of balancing snipers, because I think without the charge mechanic it would be a little too much, but...
Oh yeah, totally. But I don't think it needs to be as extreme as what Quake had it, where the original sniper, he zoomed in as the shot was charged, so it got harder and harder to aim until the charge was complete. So you either hip fired, which was always accurate but gave you low damage unless you could hit the head, or you had to wait the whole time to get the full damage, because that. And then they made it later where the zoom is independent of the charge with a separate mouse button, but in the original game it zooms as you charge, indicating also how much damage you're going to deal by the time the zoom is complete. And it zoomed over the course of 3 seconds. So the charge has actually always been the same since the beginning of the franchise. It's great, actually.
Powerful despite being weak.
Sorry.
I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot already.
I love how he's using this game too. He'll explain it later, but this game, this Roblox game is
version of TF2. That's kind of based, I'm not going to lie.
He explains it as essentially a copy, so we could assume that this is just
copy.
TF2.
I haven't played it, but I know it is. I've seen people play it.
Yeah. This is the first time I've ever seen it, so it just looks kind of funny to me.
It is kind of funny, yeah.
At close range. However, the question of how snipers should...
See, this is what I mean. He's using clips of other guns doing headshotting and counting it as part of the sniping discussion. Why? What this implies is that he has a problem with headshotting as a whole.
The thing is, right? This weapon can't... One of the balancing factors of the CT main horsepower weapon is that it doesn't one-shot headshot even with armor. So, I think him using this weapon in particular is I mean, it can one-shot headshot. I think it's on certain ranges. I'm pretty sure it could, but it's
But only without the helmet.
Well, even with the helmet, it could, but it's pretty rare. You have to be in smelling distance of him, basically.
Oh.
At least I think. I could be wrong, but I think in the context of this, it's I don't think that's how it works. Also, he's playing on Office. On competitive Office. I don't think we should respect his opinion here. Anyway.
Countered is not an easy thing to figure out, and is affected by multiple factors in a shooter. But we can analyze...
He flashes those too fast, but I did write them down in my doc. It's map size, movement, time to kill, game design.
Yeah, if that's the case, then Office would be shit for snipers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, no, Office isn't that bad. Office it has angles, it has long hallways, but it's not good either.
Yeah. I know at least in TF2, I've also figured out, actually, as a result of studying all this, that just because the map is open for snipers doesn't also mean that the game is poor for everyone else. A big reason why maps are so open nowadays is actually because a lot of weapons in the game are designed for high mobility, and stuff, and so the maps are designed around the high movement and mobility, and sort of as an accidental consequence, snipers benefit from it. But it's part of the tug of war of the game still, so it kind of works out. Like upward is super favorable for blast classes, but it's also very good for snipers because of how open it is.
Yeah,
and at the same time,
it's more of modern TF2 mappers making their maps bigger than hell or bigger than like Earth.
And at the same time, too, because it's so open, it also gives spies more leeway to move around and not get bumped.
Are, if the map is big and open, chances are it's more going to be a problem for every class. Like Scout is going to like dominate.
Absolutely. Oh, totally. Yeah. And I think the classes that would suffer most are Engineer and Heavy, just because
Engineer and Heavy would just fucking die. Yeah. Pyro would just like do nothing. It's like Con King, right? It's like Con King. These classes aren't going to do anything.
Yeah, unless the Pyro has Scorch Shot and Flog, there's no real way he's going to do much.
Even then, right? The Pyro without Air Blast on Con King, for example, is like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's a rough
the Sulfur
game.
shoots at you from halfway across the map. You're just sit there like taking it like a good boy from halfway across the map. It's like, nah, what the hell?
Yeah, you essentially have to live in the flank underneath the point.
Yeah, you have to live in the you have to LARP in the flank the entire time.
Born to flunk, forced to cap.
yeah, born to flunk, forced to cap.
That's the whole jam right there for TF2 now.
Yeah.
That's the issue by discussing what I like to call the problem of information and the problem of retaliation. A simple fact.
I find it really funny how he's putting the guy up there when you can't even go up there.
I know. It's like, how is that an appropriate example, man?
Shooter games is that you can't find an enemy if you can't see them.
I mean, to his credit, it's probably just like flashy editing from him.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. And it is to introduce the points that like this is a point that people have a ton in TF2 as well. So we'll just listen to this real quick because it has many layers to it.
By discussing what I like to call the problem of information and the problem of retaliation. A simple fact in shooter games is that you can't find an enemy if you can't see them. It's often the case that when you die to a sniper, you'll have no idea where they even were because they're often so far away, and it makes for an incredibly unfair interaction.
I saw him. I don't know.
I mean, I guess in a sense, sure. I guess he's kind of right, but like, does that really matter that much?
It doesn't. No, especially when they're like, even in a game like TF2, there are so many other ways to die blind. Like I recently, I think yesterday, I killed a heavy from behind the rocks on upward second, I think, because I was just lobbing pills over and happened to get 2 direct hits on him. Like, that's stupid. And then sticky traps are something that people don't see. Spy is an entire class benefits from people not knowing where he is.
Yeah, by that logic, they should remove people. These guys would want Spy removed. But I don't think they're going to say they want Spy removed because Spy is kind of Kino Solarino and they like the French guy.
Yeah. Also, too, everyone who complains about Sniper being overpowered are also people who think that Spy needs, like, major buffs even still. Which I not agree with.
I would love Spy in some ways, but I would not do it. The issue with Spy as a class, right? Or like, it's not really an issue. It's more of just like
is nuance as a design.
Aging. It's more of aging in the sense that like when the players are better on the server, Spy is just inherently weaker because you're going to have a harder time fooling players.
Yes, but at the same time, a really good Spy top scores really easily. Like those Kunai Deadringer dudes are no joke.
It's more of a quote unquote unfixable flaw of Spy. It's not really like a big flaw, but it's more just something that like Spy's inherent balance is dictated by the people on the server. If you're not a good, and it's also just dictated by how good you are at Spy. If you are not that good at Spy and everyone on the servers like knows how to counter Spy, it's like you're not getting kills. But if the inverse, you are just getting kills.
Yeah, but I would argue that it's not really a flaw as much as it is just like a genuine skill issue, because you can make that argument about every class. Like the class I struggle with most, unironically at this point, is Demo Man, because I just can't do well with Demo Man. I don't know why. I've just got a mental block, and so a lot of it just comes down to
Spy is more of just like a double-edged sword. I mean, it's either a skill issue or it's just like but that not effective.
I would say that also is like the point of the class, because he is like a very high risk, high reward class by design, and that's something that people appropriately bring up in the discussion of how, Sniper is just is Spy but better. Like, no, he's not, because what Spy does is go into the backlines and destroy the sentries on Badwater last. that your team can't see yet and doesn't have the uber charge to deal with yet, you know? He goes out to backstab the snipers when your own sniper is insufficient. He goes out to kill the medic that's building uber behind the corner with like the last 5%. That's his job. It is a double-edged sword of the highest degree, and that's by design of him being stealth. That's the point of the class. And like that was the point of the class even back when, you know, TFC and Quake Team Fortress was a thing, when his mechanics revolved around him being able to feign death rather than go invisible. So it's a discussion that has much more nuance than that. And like, I know it's off topic in terms of like the discussion of information for snipers, but like information, it's per game, depending on how the maps are designed and how people camouflage into the environment. But like in a game like TF2, there's plenty of information, and I say this having like played TF2 recently on like windowed mode, lower resolution, because my graphics card is dying. It's crazy. There's just, at a certain point, you die enough to certain threats, any threat, that you should just understand where the threat is most likely going to come from, and you should already be thinking about how to prepare for it. And like, and also communicate with your team. Like, if you die, you get a kill cam of where the guy is, and you can tell your team that if you want to. But that's not something anyone ever brings up, because teamwork just suddenly doesn't exist. I don't know why. It's silly.
All right, we should unpause. We're
sorry
too much.
So, that means snipers need to give out adequate information about their location for them to be fair to play against.
Only as much information as any other class, I would say.
Have to one-shot from any range should be at the cost of exposing your location, because it adds risk to using a powerful weapon, and a high risk but high reward.
Again, kill
is the
cams.
whole thing we're going for.
Is Kritzkrieg high risk, high reward? Is it really?
Okay, on offense, you could make the argument, because I would say the Kritzkrieg, right? It's like I call it the defense minigun, because it's only really consistent with defense.
Yeah.
Like on defense, the Kritzkrieg is like, it fucking rolls. It's a good weapon on defense, but on offense, right? It is a high risk, high reward weapon, because you don't get the invulnerability, but you do get crits, which can be really, really good. Like I think having, like, if you're on, let's say Badwater Last, right? You could use the Kritzkrieg from the backside, you know, where like the backside of the fences, and you go down through the flank. You could do that really well with the Kritzkrieg, and that will fucking mog them. It is a high risk, high reward weapon in the sense that like it's situation dependent of like what's happening around you. And if the enemy team has the resources to take you, because I mean the Kritzkrieg is counterable. I don't understand Pikachu Frankie's hate with the Kritzkrieg, but anyway,
I understand it in the sense of core design, and how he is right as to how all the unlock weapons are only balanced around what they're replacing and not the game as a whole. But even still, I would honestly, because I've been playing with the Kritzkrieg a bit, I would say that the Kritzkrieg in most cases tends to just be the medigun, like it's standard risk with high reward, but the reward itself is situation dependent. It's not like invincibility, where like invincibility is just beneficial all around, really. Like there's no reason to not have it at times, you know.
Yeah, that's why.
Whereas if you blow crits, like, it's not. It's a big. It's not nearly as.
I think the Kritzkrieg is like the defense minigun, right? It's better than on defense. I'd argue the Kritzkrieg is just better than the stock minigun, because it's just like I'd rather have crits on offense than like say invulnerability, because crits will like actually stop pushes way easier than invulnerability. I'm getting them out of my face faster with crits.
That's fair. Yeah. I guess it's situation dependent, but I hadn't thought of it that way, so yeah, that makes sense.
But when it comes to balancing, there's a lot of ways snipers can provide information on their location. Bullet trails, muzzle flash, scope glint, giant lasers, mini-map indicators, or even just the sound of a sniper shot in the distance. However, in my personal opinion, a majority of these methods of providing information are inadequate, because many allow snipers to still go undetected for the most part.
He brought up 6 alternatives as to how snipers can provide information, and then it's like, but even with these, it's just not enough. It's just not.
Okay, well, you have to ask these guys a different question. What would be enough?
Yeah, but they'll never settle. And like we'll get to the end of this video, they never settle on something. They settle on like vague things for the most part, but they never actually define this is what would make it better. Like, and it's just stupid. Especially when you know that they're not considering the games per game. They're talking about the mechanic outright because they have a hatred with the particular way of dying, more so than they do with like actual design. They have an emotional problem. And the thing is, too, like, about information, I don't know what you think about it, but the way the game gives information about sniper location is per game. But it's also just, like, how do other players provide information as to their whereabouts, you know? Like, take TF2. All the classes have various ways of providing information as to where they are, but they don't all involve something like sound or outright visuals. Like, I know sentries make sound, but, like, it's not, like, heavy...
Actually, I think, another thing about it, I think, like, a lot of them have sound as... I think almost all of them. Because, like, Spy has the decloak, right?
Yeah, and Heavy has the minigun
rev. Sentry guns. Yeah, Heavy has the minigun. Even, like, gunshots from, like, Scout, for example.
Demo Man's stickies don't, like, beep or anything, so there's that. There's not, like... There's gun sounds, but, like, it's not the same kind of thing. And you can still get hit from things you just don't see because you just don't see them. It just suddenly becomes a problem when it's so far away. Yeah. It's like if you round a corner and you suddenly die to a medic that was just sitting there with his pocket, and you're like, oh, that wasn't fair. It's like, well, you should have just been that
kind of was fair. You walked into the enemy team without noticing, and then you saw a medic heavy pair. That was kind of fair on your end. Yeah, and the medic doesn't need to, like, have the medigun give any sound outside of the sound that it makes when he's at 100% charged for any of his Ubers. Yeah. Because, like, if you just stroll into a corner and you get killed by somebody you didn't expect, it's probably your fault for not expecting it. And, like, you can have a discussion as to how, like, you know, lower skilled players, you know, or, like, lower experienced players can have a different reaction than the higher skilled ones. But at a certain point, it's just not an excuse, because you should be intuiting that instead as, okay, the game is explaining its rules to me and its price for victory. I should adjust my expectations accordingly. And instead what people do is just whine that the game doesn't meet their preset expectations, right? When they themselves can't even quantify it, because it's just, their expectations just come down to what's fun or not, right? Yeah, it's like, I have a skill issue. The game has to accommodate to me only.
Yeah. It's so silly. It's all so silly.
Why I think that you should be able to tell exactly where a sniper is the moment they are in position to one-shot you. Otherwise,
you could never make this argument about Spy, bro.
Oh my god, I just...
That could have been a Spy who killed him, to be fair.
Now let's
If it wasn't for, like, the way he died, it would have been a Spy that killed him.
Totally, because the Spy should typically hang out around that area.
It seems like a perfect opportunity to backstab a Heavy, you know, especially considering there's, like, a medic next to him.
Yeah, he wasn't even spy checking himself, so he totally could have died to Spy. Yeah. He could have died to a whole number of things. Maybe a soldier was already over there, like, had rocket jumpeted, holy cow. Rocket jumped over the little catwalk into that other building and just, like, sank too or whatever, or maybe a random crit, who knows, you know? Yeah, because it did seem it is casual mode, so
of retaliation. This refers to what avenues are available in actually trying to kill an enemy sniper. Knowing the location of a sniper means jack squat if you can't actually do anything to kill them. And unfortunately, this is a kind of really complicated issue to solve. It stems from the fact that for you to be able to kill a sniper, you have to get close enough so that they're in your effective...
Huh? Sorry?
I said I would hope that you have teammates that know what you're doing. That can kill the sniper.
That is the majority of these contexts, huh? Is actually in team games. Like, all these games that he's been showing seem team-oriented, so a lot of this can just be...
Some of these game modes might have free-for-all game modes. I guess in that context, maybe you could make these arguments, but he's not really doing that.
No.
He's not really
specifying for the nuance,
Yeah.
range, and this simple action of closing the distance is affected by a lot of factors, such as how map design determines how powerful sightlines are.
Is the Zesty Jesus example? It's the Zesty Jesus sightline map.
Okay, well, yeah, that's right. So, some of this isn't like I don't think like. Fuck! I wish I could draw on the screen to show, but I can't. Oh well.
Well, if you tell me where things are, I can actually draw it in the editing.
Yeah, so. You know, the window to, like, the house. Like the first window in the house to the left, no, not the left, the right from where the sniper's looking. That's just not really a sightline you're seeing the entire thing for. It's literally the Zesty case of drawing a line we're
talking about the windows, the windows on the houses on red side, right?
Yeah, on red side, yeah. There's like the straight line one. It's like that's not really a good. I don't think you could see the back from there from the lower half of the house.
No, you can't.
And you could also just hypothetically hug the wall to the right side from where to where the sniper is looking, and you just would not be able to see him probably.
Yeah. Like I'm looking at the red house, the one. This is we're talking about the bottom house, right? The one on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, Red's house. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly,
this is more of a this is like a zesty moment where he's drawing lines through objects that sure you could probably see, but you're not actually going to like shoot through there.
Yeah.
It's just not practical.
Like even if other classes are in the hallway, right, the longer area of the inside of the house, your reaction time needs to be on point to actually nail that. And people are like,
yeah, even then,
that's where people would bring up the cope of like,
and it would probably work.
Yeah, but this is where people bring up.
I mean, of course, you somehow like miraculously might have a sniper in the Blues house to see the windows on that side, but that's just not really like an issue. That's just like a random ass coincidence. That's like
I don't
rare.
see snipers sitting in the windows as much anymore. Because they figured out that scouts can get under them real quick, and then they might as well be toast.
He is right in the sense that this is probably the best spot for sniper on Harvest, outside of like the roof.
Yeah,
that is probably the best spot.
You have the most coverage of the map outside of the point.
Yeah,
and you get the sight line to the opposing house because then you can counter snipe from the other house. But it's funny because like. This is where the argument comes in about like, oh, sniper wasn't balanced in like sniper wasn't designed in mind for people to like get good at him over 17 years or whatever. And it's like that is cope. That is cope. All right, you cannot make the argument that like something wasn't designed for people to get good at. That has to be like blatantly apparent, and at that point, it's not a problem that like needs to be about game discourse as much as it is like you should just haze the developers for not considering that people would want to bother playing their game like at high skills. That's stupid. That's just stupid game design. You can't make that argument about any other class.
Or if there are adequate flank routes. A shooter's movement system.
Wait, he drew that as the flank?
That's a flank? That is not. That's literally directly towards the sniper. That's not a flank.
This isn't the flank route. What the heck?
You know what would be the flank? I mean, okay, maybe to play devil's advocate here, maybe that is him. That maybe the sniper is looking more towards the blue house rather than the red house, right?
I guess.
We could just assume that. But even then, right? That's more of just. I don't think there's no flank to get here. I don't think there's a flank to get here. There is no flank here.
Well, I don't know why you would use the top of the house and through the window as a flank when the better flank is to literally just go through the bottom of the house because you're underneath the sniper's line of vision. That's just...
Yeah, but even then, right? I don't think this is really even a flank, because if the flank is dependent on where the sniper is looking, that's not really a flank. That's just the map. That's not an intentional flank route. That's more situational. I don't think that's a flank. There's no flank in this. I don't think there's any flanks in Harvest.
It depends on who you're going for.
Actually, no. Maybe the route under the house can maybe be a flank to get to the enemy spawn, but like even then, right? I don't think that's like a massive flank.
It depends because the open areas are not flanks because a lot of combat can take place. But once you get into the under part of a house, you are traveling through a flank if you are actually trying to infiltrate enemy territory. Because like I
guess maybe the upstairs to the roof could be a flank, but there's like that. There's a lot more nuance here that I don't think we should cover.
Yeah, is a lot. Because, like, if there is a sniper in that window, a scout can just run under the house, get up through the staircase, and because snipers in the windows...
That would be
just
considered a flank.
Yeah, because as soon as snipers get up to that window, they just turn their brain off, and then they suddenly die or whatever gets to
where
them.
the sniper is right now, there is no flank to get there.
No, I wouldn't say that there's a flank, because it's all open areas. But even still, you could take advantage of that.
Yeah, that's like, right. There is no flank to get to where the sniper is positioned in his video.
It's like if there is a blue sniper sitting on that house, the way that I typically take as a scout or a spy is go under the red house, so through my own house, and because he is going to check responsibly for the opposing team's house and focus around the point itself, I am under his line of vision. I am underneath his scope. So even as a scout, he's not going to see me, and I have the advantage of getting close enough to where damage ramp up becomes a thing. And then I benefit because I use Force of Nature a lot, so then I can just push him off. And at that point, he's good as dead because I've removed him from his primary positioning. This is all nuance that no one ever talks about.
Also, notable nitpick on video editing, he's using the red barn area, and he's showing the blue barn.
Oh, yeah. I didn't notice it. Yeah, that's silly.
Little nitpick, but...
I guess that's because that's how the image is on the wiki. And he just didn't flip the image.
It doesn't matter much. It's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Adequate flank range.
That's always
A shooter's
funny.
movement system has the power to make it really easy or really hard to get close to a sniper, by both determining if you can effectively dodge shots and simply how fast you can close the distance. The existence of abilities or utility items
I want to be
greatly
real. I
changes
don't
the
think
ways in which
snipers.
you can deal
Okay,
with.
pause. He showed Titanfall 2. I don't think snipers in that game are that practical because that game is a little too fast for snipers to be accommodated. You're not really like positioning. It has the Call of Duty syndrome, where the snipers don't really affect. Or the snipers can't really have good use cases because they're either A, better shotguns, or B, they just have no use cases because the game is too fast. There's like no.
I've heard that about Titanfall too. Yeah.
Unlike say like TF2, right, where you have like you have spots for snipers to like sit down and like try and pick people off and rotate from and stuff.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2 does not really accommodate that well because it's also just because the movement system is like you can go fucking anywhere on these maps. It's like you don't expect a sniper to be somewhere. But even then, the game is just too fast to accommodate a sniper sitting on top of a building, for example. You're just not doing that.
Yeah.
Of a
You're
sniper,
moving around.
etc., etc. The problem here is that there are just so many factors, with many being core elements baked into
None
the
of which
game's
you've really
design,
explained
meaning
properly.
You can't add or remove one without massively affecting the rest of the game. So it leads to a sort of unsolvable problem. Take, for example, that in Team Fortress 2, since every class...
The way you solve the problem is by not designing a game with snipers if you're really that, like, picky about it.
If you really care that much, just make Quake.
Yeah, just don't design sniper rifles.
Yeah. And just accommodate your game to around the balance of a lack of snipers, you know? Just like you would if you had to like take Spy out. You have to rebalance the game around the fact there's no stealth to deal with certain threats that otherwise would be dealt with.
In this case,
stealth
it's not really
existed.
him being a problem. It's him pushing this anti-sniper propaganda or whatever.
It straight up is that now, yeah. It's just a political ad.
Make
that in Team
sniper
Fortress
great
2,
again.
since every class except for the sniper is designed exclusively for close to mid-range combat,
I actually prove in my script, like just side note, I prove that this actually isn't true. Anyways.
they practically have no options to effectively fight a sniper other than to flank all the way behind enemy lines, which is often risky.
Oh, flank
even then,
all
right?
the way. Bleh.
Even then, we can also consider that TF2 has unlocks. I'm not saying we should always do that, but like TF2 has unlocks. I think things like a direct hit can easily counter a sniper.
Oh, absolutely. I've been using the direct hit more recently, just explicitly for snipers. It is so good.
I like the direct hit. I like the direct hit, but like the thing is, right? Him saying that there's no like counters to sniper, it's like, bruh.
Yeah. No, it's
the direct hit exists. You could probably make a case for the pistol, depending on how far you are. You could probably make a case for...
The Wrangler actually does pretty well if you can get set up before.
The Wrangler could do work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's assuming if you set up that's assuming if the sentry zone gets up, but the Wrangler could do it.
Yeah.
There's even an achievement for killing 10 snipers with the Wrangler. It's like Valve wanted you to do that.
Yeah. And then that's also not even considering the classes themselves that are built at base, then unlocks on top to deal with people like Sniper, like Scout and Spy.
A demo man can probably counter Sniper pretty easily.
Oh yeah, just charge a couple sticky bombs his way and just lob him at him, and suddenly he has to move.
Just like go, or better yet, even if you're like, you can just close the distance by having unpredictable movement and throw stickies through the window, like on Harvest, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have unpredictable movement, you can just go under the window and put up stickies, because chances are the sniper will probably still be sitting there. He'll probably lose sight and not care.
I've actually seen Demo Knights do pretty well on certain maps, because if they trimp right or charge the right way, like snipers just, for some reason, even I just can't accommodate for Demo Knight's speed.
I mean, Demo Man's just fast, though. I think it's faster than Scout in some areas, so I don't think we can count him.
Time-consuming, it takes your attention away from the front lines.
Oh, time-consuming, as if this isn't a team game that takes effort to win. Cope and seethe, Jack.
In a game like Team Fortress 2, because the sniper's design clashes so much of the design of the combat without changing a majority of the game's design,
established that
the sniper
whatsoever.
will always be the sole long-range class in a game full of close to mid-range classes. There's also a myriad of other issues that plague the sniper.
So much, why did they add Sniper?
Why was he the second class ever designed in the franchise history, if that's the case?
Bro, why the hell would they design Sniper if it didn't fit the game? All right, let's see video.
It's funny, too, because I actually go through the math and, prove just how many weapons actually are competent at long range. and it's a surprising number for all the classes,
Yeah,
especially the rocket launchers.
Some of these weapons aren't as good as a sniper rifle in these ranges, but like it doesn't matter that much.
It doesn't even need to be that effective, more effective than
it's only in a vacuum.
Yeah.
It's only in a vacuum.
The minute you apply this to context, especially per map, and then analyzing what the team construction is and what their loadouts all are like, and like skill levels of all the players, this whole thing falls apart because it is a purely player-to-player basis. But you know, we don't talk about that. We got to keep up the agenda.
TF2, but I'll get to that later. What this all means is that in any shooter game with a core design that doesn't lend itself well to providing counters for snipers, the most you can do is just never expose yourself. Just don't walk into any potential sniper sightline ever, I suppose. Which is just terrible
that's not
because
how it
A,
works.
you're not actually physically retaliating against the sniper, and B, since you can't fight back, it makes snipers extremely oppressive and unfair to play against. From all I've said so far, it should be evident by now that snipers have a lot of problems.
This is the main point that comes up in all 3 videos that I found, but it's the one that I find the most common online as well. There's this entitlement that you have to have at least the chance to get in someone's face. As if that, like, needs to happen. And I know, again, game-to-game balancing, right?
Yeah.
But even in something like TF2, you aren't just entitled to just get somewhere because you can in other situations.
You're not entitled to going to flank the sniper. If you're engineer, you should be by your nest, or if you're heavy, you should not be doing this. You should leave that up to like a scout, pyro, or spy, or maybe even an enemy sniper, but in that case, it's the enemy.
And it
sniper
applies to
wouldn't
other
do
classes
that.
too. Like as a scout, you're not entitled to just get an engineer's face if he's got a sentry that he's managing.
Exactly.
The sentry is going to mog you. That's just how it works.
It's going to like blow you up into mini pieces. It's like nah.
Yeah. So like there just seems to be this attitude of like, oh, I don't get direct interaction, which apparently just means I don't get to trade blows.
If I don't get to do whatever I want, I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah. Well, it's this idea that like everything has to be quote unquote trading blows, in spite of even that requiring a quantification that is very nebulous at best. And even still, if we're talking about TF2 specifically with Sniper, there's another class that directly benefits also from not having direct blow for blow combat, because the minute he gets in there in that kind of situation, he is on the disadvantage, right? Like spy benefits from you not knowing where you are. And yes, he gets close, and you could pedantically say that that's like trading blows, and it's like, oh, I could have done something. If you weren't spy checking properly, you weren't doing something, okay? And that's really what matters at the end of the day. Okay, like, okay, sure, maybe you feel emotionally as though you couldn't have done anything, but did you actually try to do something? Because that's really what matters.
Yeah,
it's just this entitled attitude. I don't get it, man. I just noticed that, and that's the recurring theme throughout all 3 videos. Like one of the big ones that I find.
That need to be solved that often don't have many solutions. So it's easy for an aspect of snipers to slip by without adequate consideration and become unbalanced. The seemingly obvious conclusion from this is that snipers are extremely volatile and so have the tendency to be
again, pistol sniping. When he's talking about snipers or sniper rifles.
This is literally round 1. This is round 1.
Like, does he just mean headshotting in general from any range regardless of the context? Like, is that what he means?
That might actually be what he's saying. Maybe.
Bro would have hated original.
I don't think that's what he's actually trying to say, but it implies that.
It's just ridiculous though, because this isn't the first time he's done this with his footage.
I think this is more of just him. Actually, yeah, you might be right. Actually, this is maybe just him saying headshot from anything that isn't 2 centimeters in front of me is bad.
I don't understand.
It might actually just be what he's saying. Because this is round 1 on a pistol round. No one should have helmets. The only armor they can buy is Kevlar, like a basic chest armor. There's no way they can.
Yeah, I just it's weird too, because
so
if that's
might actually just be him saying, "Oh yeah, a bunch of headshots equal bad."
Well, if that is what he's saying, then that changes the nature of the conversation completely, because now it's even more fundamental than a class designation or a weapon designation. You straight up have a problem with how you die, which could easily be extrapolated to, oh, I died from a stray bullet 100 yards away, even though I was at low health. Wah wah wah. And it's like, you have to be joking. Right, like please tell me that's not where this goes. Because
the video already, the video already died.
Yeah.
It died a long time ago, which is on pause.
Balanced in shooters. Thus is the reason why they're hated. You wouldn't be wrong to use this reasoning to be frustrated.
There's the Arch video.
That
For
video.
me, there's simply a much bigger
We're gonna watch that one
core
apparently.
issue at play. Snipers just aren't fun. Playing against snipers, especially good snipers, is just frustrating.
yeah, we're at this point. Remember that whole fun conversation we had when
I agree.
reviewing?
I don't like finding snipers in any game, but that's a me issue. Like,
Yeah. I refer again to that conversation we had back when like we were doing the Lucid CTF video when we were talking about snipers and like fun as an argument. You can't make this. It's not an argument. I don't need to
you can
repeat
make it being fun as an argument if you have objective things that back it up. In this case, he's not really doing that, I don't think.
Yeah, but at that point, even then, I would encourage using different words like enjoyable or interactive or interesting, because at least that alludes to something more tangible as a metric.
fair.
Fun is just emotional satisfaction, and that could be tied to literally anything.
It's
It's
not,
not.
I'm just saying I die to sniper. I don't like sniper because I die to sniper.
Yes, yes, it is.
In games where snipers are overpowered. All those aforementioned problems
You're
will still
using Valorant,
contribute to
that's not a
creating a
real game.
very large imbalance in enjoyment between the people sniping and the people being sniped. I'm sure this is starting to sound like just an angry rant.
What the
and you
fuck?
might even start
Wait,
leaning-
what game is that? Is that fucking like knockoff Battlefield? What the hell?
This looks like Overwatch 2.
No, the game before.
Oh,
The game before. Yeah, this. What the hell is this?
I don't know. Another Roblox game.
I know it's another. Like, what's the ripoff of it this time? Oh yeah, we can skip this.
PUBG. I don't know.
It could look like that, but I don't think it is because
Yeah.
it's probably some Call of Duty clone. Anyway, yeah.
leaning
pause.
towards using that classic phrase of skill issue. Since if my grievances with snipers are still present even when they're balanced, then what
So he literally admits, even with all of the things that I've said, it's still not good enough for me. And he admits that, like, skill issue, it would be reasonable to throw at him.
It's just a skill issue.
It's so lacking in self-aware.
How long is this video? Do we even have to watch the rest of it?
Probably not. We'll just go
what's
through
the
it from this
problem?
point.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing. Something not being fun to play against is something worthy of criticism, and snipers deserve heavy criticism.
Not
because
automatically.
Snipers are just not fun, and it's caused by fundamental flaws of snipers. and
Again,
the problem
pistol
stems from
round.
design. What some people
Round,
seem to
yeah,
ignore is
or
that a
it's
major
not
problem
pistol
with
round, but it is
snipers
eco
simply
round,
that
where
because
people
their
probably will
enemy
use
lies in being
pistols.
able to just
Yeah.
delete you from existence,
It's
they
cheap.
can go undetected and unchallenged due to their superior range, which takes away a lot of the initiative you have in a typical interaction between two players.
What do you mean lack of initiative? You had the first strike.
What?
That's on you. Look at this. He had the first
They just
shot.
delete you from existence.
What do
they
you
can go
mean
undetected
initiative
and
loss?
unchallenged due to their superior range, which
Yeah,
takes
wait.
away a lot of the initiative you have in a typical
He did have the
interaction.
first shot, although to be fair, the enemy team was smart and they divided and conquered.
Exactly. In which case, you can't blame. Like, that would have happened regardless of the gun at that point, even with just a modicum skill
the
difference.
guy with the sniper could have been argued that he was at a disadvantage because he was like 2 centimeters in front of him.
Oh, totally.
He was
Totally.
using an op in that close of range.
Yeah.
Between two
Usually on this map, you wouldn't be in the
fighting
window in the
against
back.
snipers is often more unfun and unfair than it is not, simply because you get so little agency and control over the situation. So, after all I just said, maybe you agree and maybe you don't. I can't stop everybody from saying, haha, you just suck at the game. And it's fine if you personally think that
Base
as
versus
long as the
troll
sniper
phase.
is balanced, it is not much of a problem. But I disagree, and I want to directly show you these problems I've been talking about in this video thus far. So, that's what we're gonna be doing next. I'd like to start off with the shooter I've put the most hours into. And yes, it's a Roblox game. Despite my efforts to not be labeled as a
Screw my
Roblox
Chungus
YouTuber,
life.
because I'm not, I don't just make Roblox content, I swear. My roots in gaming started on Roblox, and Phantom Forces became a game that I can just jump into for some quick shooter fun, so I've put quite a few
Phantom
hours into
Forces.
it, and
I don't
it's
know
my
what this
go-to
is.
shooter game
Well, I
for a
guess this is an
while.
original.
So, with my
I've heard of
hundreds,
it
probably
as like a-
thousands of hours
but
clocked
like-
into Phantom Forces,
I don't
my
know what the
verdict on
fuck this
snipers in
is.
that game. Yeah,
Well,
that
what's the
absolutely
ripoff
sucked to
of
play
this
against.
game?
And it's mostly an issue stemming from inadequately addressing the problem of information. Despite
It's either
the
Call of
game
Duty or
having multiple
Battlefield.
feature called
It's either one.
spotting,
There's
where
no
you
way it
can
isn't
highlight
either.
enemy-
Yeah. So
That's
this
the
is
ripoff of this game. That's the original of the
Okay,
ripoff.
got
It's
it.
either Call of Duty or Battlefield. I can't tell.
So listen to the way that he says that the snipers in this game like do the information thing, because I actually think this is pretty unique. I've never heard of this before, and it's actually pretty sick. And he still bellyaches about it.
Yeah, they absolutely suck to play against. And it's mostly an issue stemming from inadequately addressing the problem of information. Despite the game having bullet trails and a feature called spotting, where you can highlight enemies by pressing E if they're in your view, it's still very
That's okay. That's a Battlefield feature. Okay.
Oh, so this is a Battlefield clone. Okay.
But that doesn't even like, that's only for the sniper. I'm pretty sure that is only for the sniper. I've played Battlefield. I don't think I've played like the most. I have like I'm not as experienced compared to like other games, but I'm pretty sure that's only for the recon class in Battlefield. I'm pretty sure. So it's not even a counter. It's a benefit for the sniper.
And yet, it's still not enough.
Yeah, so it's more of just whenever I get the advantage, it's okay.
Like I explained
Yeah.
earlier in the video. So most of your deaths from snipers exclusively are from the ones you can't even see, which, as you might think, is not very fun.
You know, you would think that if you're playing this map, you've already consented to like trying to understand the tactics that this map. Like, this is something that I was talking about with my dad, and actually my wife had a really good thing about it too, where it's like if you're signing up to play a certain map or a certain game, by the nature of playing, you are already consenting to the rule set that game like operates under, and that goes for any game, video game or not. So like, to complain about it, like, sure, you could say that this map is poorly designed, but at least in that case, you have to consent to the idea that you signed up for this. You should know what you're getting into, and you should be preparing accordingly. And if you're still complaining about it, maybe, I'm not saying for sure, but maybe it is genuinely a skill issue. Because you're signing up for something and then still whining about it, as if you didn't consent to it directly. It's silly.
Also, hold up. If he's complaining about the tiny batch of pixels, isn't that more of a visibility problem with the game? Because I will agree here that the visibility of this is kind of shit. You can't really see the guy that well.
I would also say that's YouTube compression making it worse, but...
I mean, yeah, true, but like even then, right? I'm pretty sure this would look bad even with like the good without compression. It would just look kind of shit because like it's literally a like tan background on like a very like semi-tan guy.
And a drab
like,
sky.
I will be honest, I would not be able to see the guy here. That's just bad, but that's not an issue with the sun. That's just bad visibility.
Yeah.
Seems like it should. And bullet.
It's funny too, because with all the people being like, oh, you need all these rigs and like these high graphics and 4K and stuff, you'd think that would actually be leveraged for this to actually see things, that people still complain.
Well, even then, right? It's not even about the graphics settings. It's more of the game.
Yeah, that's true. I know there's that.
Good player models contrasting with backgrounds.
Yeah, which TF2 does well at base, I will say. At base.
Even with like I mean, not like all cosmetics, but I think even with like certain like earlier cosmetics, especially with ones that are more geared towards the head, it doesn't really do it that bad. It's like the same, because
I think that's where like
if one part is changed to like TF2's, like let's say a hat, right? If you wear like the Texas 10 gallon, right, it's not really going to change much the visibility because you still got the lower half of the body.
Yeah. I think that's where Gold Rush does cosmetics well, where it's like very limited in its scope, but it's like it doesn't do anything to deter visibility.
Yeah, the biggest issue with my issues with TF2's cosmetics is that having the bodies or having cosmetics on the body, which should have never been something that was at like a merc badge. Sure, that's like fine, it's just something small, but like anything below the head with like the hats, it's like, bro, we should not have this.
Yeah. I also think that unusual.
You'll get that with like things like Counter-Strike, right, where they added crappy agent skins, and there was like for a brief moment there was like a issue with visibility and how pro players would like all pro players just simultaneously agreed, yeah, let's not use agent skins. These like fuck with visibility, and they all do it.
Yeah, I would also say at least in TF2 that unusuals on the head is extra stupid, because that just draws a sniper to your attention even more. Like, I have killed players just because they think they're hiding, but I see their unusual above the cover. And so as soon as they stop hiding, I just boing, and they're like, oh, how did you kill me? And I'm like, dude, there's a shining green orb over your head. How do you think? You are drawing everyone's attention to yourself.
Usual should have never been that. At least with hats, right? At least with hats, they could have just been like something that's like you unlock in the game, and I don't think many people would complain. But with unusual, it's like, bro, this doesn't even fit artistically.
Yeah. Especially unusuals on weapons too. That's just weird.
I mean, weapon skins in general are just like a very obvious shame to copy Counter-Strike, but people don't talk about that because they don't know any other games with TF2.
I thought it was the test run for how the market would appreciate it for Counter-Strike. Didn't TF2 do it
Nah,
first?
they did it first. They added skins in CS in like 2013. Gunmetal came out 2 years after.
Okay.
They didn't even copy the correct things because nobody likes decorated weapons. That's why they made Warpaints, because decorated weapons were kind of shit.
I see, okay. I couldn't remember, because I know TF2 did something...
Warpaints are worse than both.
I know TF2 did the microeconomy thing first, but like I couldn't remember.
Did the microeconomy things first, but CS did the weapon skins idea first. They just had, like, one thing I did like about each of Valve's games is that at least when they had the microeconomy stuff, they at least did different things in them. Like CS had cases and weapon skins. Dota 2 had like character cosmetics and treasures. TF2 had crates and hats. At least they were like a little different, right? But then TF2's like, oh, what if we added weapon skins and then we added case instead of crates? Yay! We're copying the game that we like more. Anyway, yeah, we should
every day TF2 becomes more and more discount Counter-Strike.
Details just don't help very much, like I explained earlier in the video. So most of your deaths from snipers exclusively are from the ones you can't even see.
Oh yeah, contracts are also a CS thing though.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
is not very fun. However, I do think that Phantom Forces tackles the problem of retaliation quite well. First, the effective range of most guns is far enough that you can deal with a sniper for the most part, as long as they're not some guy.
So like Battlefield, got it.
But if you aren't using a gun that has a particularly far effective range, then second, because
ain't no way we're talking like this shotgun is actually good. No, what the fuck? No.
He's also talking about movement tech to just help out. But
this could be argued for any game, though. Why are we only arguing it for this one?
Okay, he'll get to other games, mostly just TF2, I think. But he's talking about it as an example of how.
Even then, right? Yeah. And even then, this is not really like for like. I can make this argument about Call of Duty. I'm still gonna say Call of Duty snipers are kind of shit because even then, right? This just makes it so. Like when Call of Duty has like the butt sliding or whatever the fuck it's called now, where you like cancel the slides midway through. It's like it's cringe. Yeah. Yeah, it's like slide canceling. When Call of Duty has that, people don't use that as an argument for snipers.
They use it as a problem with the engine and the movement. Right?
People, it's one of those things, right? Where like it's not like it's like a non sequitur, right? It's not like the actual like thing of devaluing the sniper. It's more of just
what's it called? I think it's a red herring. I think it would be the appropriate term.
It's a red herring.
It's a distraction from the primary point, and honestly is making a point of its own.
You're just throwing off their aim, but the thing is that you wouldn't have to do this if the sniper was actually balanced in this game. So I'm thinking that if this is rip-off Call of Duty, this is just more of just him saying that, oh, I like Call of Duty snipers.
Well, you said this was you said this was Battlefield.
I just don't. It's either one or the other. I don't know, because this is a Roblox game. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
It's either one or the other. But, like, I can't tell. This is, like, what the hell?
Yeah. I don't know. When you say Call of Duty 2, you're not talking about the franchise as a whole, right? Because I'm assuming all various games from different time periods, like, do it differently because of, like, engine limitations or, like, technical improvements. Like, when you say Call of Duty snipers, from what time period are you referring to up to now? Because I don't actually have a good understanding of that.
I would say from 07 to now, because I've not had enough experience multiplayer-wise for the other games.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think they would even work that bad. I mean, zombies, snipers are just shit. Why would you use them? There's better options.
Yeah.
A horde shooter with a sniper, that's just like asking for you to die.
Yeah.
Actually, no. There is that one that they explode the scavenger and called it. That thing's fire. I love that thing because you shoot something and it explodes. It's like Kino, But yeah. We should unpause.
Affected by map design. Overall, while the snipers and Phantom Forces aren't some unstoppable force, they can be very good on certain maps, and most especially, very annoying.
Very good on certain maps. You can say that about anything, really.
On Steam, it says I have around 175 hours right now.
Okay. We can ignore the opinion. It's not
well, he also has this.
Colors 2 is literally a copy of Team Fortress 2, and I only played
I'm not counting this as a copy because, like, bro,
it's Roblox.
They're not the same game.
Yeah. There's no way it like simulates source physics even like exactly. But
sure, you could say like the gameplay is like the same, but like I don't believe you.
I think we can.
Like, if you're gonna make this argument, you should make it the argument for a real game.
Yeah. Although even if we do assume that he's telling the truth about it being a literal copy, his arguments still don't apply. But like I agree, it shouldn't be counted.
Yeah.
Because it is genuinely a separate game.
because of storage limit.
Because besides, even with this
Because
game,
of
he admits
storage limitations, bro.
At the time.
Okay, you know, actually, no, I can understand this. The fact that TF2 is bigger than what CS:GO was at the end of its life is actually really sad.
it's stupid. Yeah, I think he says even if you combine his hours, it's not even up to 1,000 hours. So it's not like, I mean, I probably have around the same amount of hours as him because now I'm closing in on 900, I think. So. Yeah.
Limitations on my potato of a laptop. There isn't a way.
But I also have the source mod experience that can't be tracked because it wasn't in the SDK, so it could be more.
PC2 combined. Now, interestingly, the thing is, the sniper in both games have one major difference. In TF2, every sniper has a red dot that appears wherever they're aiming. Meanwhile, in TC2, the red dot has been completely thrown out in favor of this big-ass sightline laser. So with this massive difference, how
gross.
do they compare when it comes
It's
to
the
their
MVM
data?
laser.
Well, they both don't.
Yeah, or it's like the Machina traces, but it's like always on.
I mentioned how Sniper is an anomaly in the mainly close to mid-range battles of TF2, disrupting the game by outranging every other class at least 3 times over, and being able to one-shot literally.
Dude.
That's you picking the worst spawn to walk out of on Upward.
It's so bloody
First.
irresponsible. And honestly, not even sending your spy out to deal with the sniper first. Idiot.
Even then, right? Like, even if you didn't do that, walking out of that spawn in particular on first when you haven't pushed the card up that much is like, bruh.
You could have died
Why
to
would you do
literally
that?
any other thing, too.
You know
Like,
what's the other alternative to instead of walking out there, walk out the other way to the left of you.
Of TF2, disrupting the
Or
game
to the
by
right,
outranging
the
every
offshoot
other
works well too. Like, why would you should not be walking out of this spawn room in this
Yeah.
scenario.
The card isn't even
You just
far
should
enough
not be.
up to where the sniper would have
Yeah,
appropriately
exactly. If it was
positioned yet.
far, if it was like farther up enough to like where it was on like the corner turn, then yeah, I would agree. You could probably take this exit. But in this scenario, when there's no guys outside, it's like, why would you take this? You're just being stupid.
Especially since your one other sniper, as far as the outlines are concerned,
Yeah.
is mispositioned completely. So,
Yeah.
ay, man.
class at least 3 times over.
Oh, there's
Being able to
his
one-shot
teammate
literally
sniper.
Any class in the game.
We have to speedrun
However,
this
the
shit.
problem goes
Yeah.
much further than that, and TF2 utterly fails at addressing all the core issues of snipers. First,
Oh,
we
shut
need to
up.
talk about the red dot again, as it unfortunately has a myriad of flaws. The dot can appear if the crosshair is in the air. It can be hidden by simply aiming on.
Isn't this part of the skill of snipers to hide the dot and then like readjust your aim as needed?
You know, I'm gonna be real. I don't even notice the fucking dot.
It doesn't matter that much, but
You
even
could probably remove the dot from this game, and I just would not notice personally.
it wouldn't impact it that much. But I like the dot because I've just gotten used to that being part of the rules of the game. You look for the dot if you're on a certain
I'm not
wall.
saying I hate the dot. I'm just saying like,
So it's like-
him making a big deal about the dot is like, I don't think this is even that much of a burger to even chew. It's just a
Any
nothing
surface that's
burger.
not in the
Yeah.
line of sight of the other team, and after all that, the reality is that a tiny red dot is just a really easy thing to miss, so it's not of much help.
How are you ever
I mean,
going
he's
to
not
be?
wrong on that, but like,
How are you ever going to be in a position as a like, say that's a blue sniper up there on blue battlements? Why,
Yeah.
if you're standing here as like a red teammate, like this is just poor positioning. Like, how in the world are you going to care about a dot that's facing opposite of where you're headed? Like, if
Yeah,
you're this
why would
far
you
up
care?
already.
if you are already around that corner and in the doorway, you're not noticing the red dot.
Yeah. The dot is for people within that area to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And like,
If the guy dies while he's doing that, then that's like, okay, yeah, don't go that way, go the other way.
yeah, but it doesn't matter for players that are already past that line of sight. So it's not. It's
Yeah,
just
true.
it's pathetic as an example.
All that, the
weird.
reality is that a tiny red dot is just a really easy thing to miss, so it's not of much help.
Wake up out of your head, wanker!
Next, we have to
There's
shift over
definitely
to
bot
talking
trauma
about
for this, I
sniper
swear.
as a whole. Because
Yeah, that's probably the reason why,
do a
actually.
very good job at making sure sniper rifles aren't good at close range. You need to
Not that
scope
that
in
was
to
much
both
of an
target
example, 'cause I
damage
didn't use
and
it,
be
but,
able to
yeah.
get the 3 times damage critical hits from headshots. You can imagine that trying to get a headshot while scoped in on a player which is only a few meters in front of you is not easy, but still not impossible. Getting quick scoped by a sniper who you're about to kill after painstakingly
That's fine.
flanking them.
This death, that he complains about is so funny to me because he peeks
was
around the
literally
corner.
standing still.
He was standing still, and the sniper was there for a whole second. It wasn't even a quick scope. He stood there for an entire second while the heavy didn't do his job protecting his medic, and the medic didn't even go for cover. Like, look at this.
You know,
look at this.
he would have he would have lived if he moved to the if he moved faster, he would have not died.
Yeah. You'd think in a team-based shooter game where you could die to a lot of things, especially as a medic, target number one for any sane person, you would actually be trying to you'd be moving a lot more. Just, I don't know, man.
However, it is, like I said, not
It's
easy,
so silly.
which limits sniper rifles from mainly being effective at long range, which of course is good. But there's more to sniper than just the sniper rifles. If you equip the Durati as their secondary,
Oh, you're talking about unlocks? Oh my gosh.
He's not even talking about base mechanics anymore, which, you know what? I guess can't be helped in a conversation about TF2 because TF2 is so identically tied to its unlocks. I actually make the point, too, that I agree that these unlocks, this Girardi and Bushwhacker, they are stupid. They shouldn't be in the game. Girardi is a silly, expansion on a gag from a cartoon.
I don't even think Girardi, honestly, I don't even think Girardi itself is. I think the Bushwhacker and the Girardi are having them combined is that's the actual problem.
But even with that, it's so easy to get around that. It's so easy to get around that.
Yeah.
I don't
know. I think Girardi is better when in team fights when you're you throw it on the enemies for helping your other team. That's way better at that. That's the actual use for Girardi.
And that wasn't even the advertised reasoning for it. They were it was supposed to counter spy's invisibility.
Well, then, right? It is also just good for countering spy. But the thing is, right? It's people don't like the Girardi just because of the Bushwhacker. That's honestly why I think a lot of people don't like Girardi. It's just because of the Bushwhacker and how OP it is with it.
Yeah. They don't have the Bushwhacker.
From the game, no one would even care about Girardi anymore. It would just be a fine side grade to the SMG.
Yeah, they don't have the Bushwhacker in Gold Rush. They just have Girardi and Razorback as the secondary unlocks, and then Huntsman. Yeah. And the Girardi is such a non-issue because of it. It's honestly an actual disadvantage to have it outside of the SMG because mini crit from a Kukri, depending on who's approaching you, you're not going to get 195 damage on anymore on the hit. So it's not nearly as effective.
I don't think the Girardi is that bad. And a decent amount of mirrors, I probably would have over the SMG in a team fight. If I'm playing payload, right?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of near the car, but I'm still with the team. I probably use Girardi.
Yeah,
more than
I guess it's my accidental imposition of my own play style because I always prefer bullets for self-defense as opposed to a jar of piss.
Fair.
So
fair.
I don't.
Fair.
I just find it more useful in more options, but especially in base TF2, I definitely understand why people think that Girardi is more useful than the SMG in certain. I guess it also depends on how you play though. If you really do stick to your sniper role and you stay farther back, it is definitely more helpful perhaps in the short term, which is really all you need a lot of the time. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it all depends, right?
Yeah. The exceptionally long-range class now also has the ability to one-shot.
That demo night waited to die to the...
He was I'm kind of fucked. He's gonna bushwhacker the fuck out of me. I'm nah,
I just don't know. He waited... There's a cut, too, in the editing. He doesn't actually go to the... It's just so strange. I don't know.
Close range. Or use the Darwin's Danger Shield to completely delete the chance for any pyros to do anything.
Fucking stupid.
That's not even a good example of the use of the Darwin's Danger Shield, and the Darwin's Danger Shield is a waste of a slot anyway. Because it protects you from pyros, big deal.
It's nerfing a class for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Pyro does not need this.
Yeah.
Even better, have the Razorback equipped.
This is also a stupid weapon that encourages bad habits with sniper play. That's the first thing pro snipers teach you.
Yeah.
Do not use the Razorback. It is bad.
It's actually, if you're a noob, the Razorback is good, but the thing is, right, the Razorback is a noob trap. You're picking the Razorback because you're not good enough at sniper.
Yeah. All you need is stock spy to come over with 3 revolver shots and you're cooked.
Exactly. Or better yet, use the MB too.
Mm-hmm. Or the Diamondback and be a, toxic
little asshole,
yeah.
Fuck the Diamondback. All my homies hate the Diamondback. Alright, I'm paused.
I use it for kicks and giggles, but I honestly like the L'Étranger. I like the L'Étranger a lot more for the additional cloak. It helps me out a lot. L'Étranger and Spicicle are my jam.
Of killing them. The common theme among all these items is that they're
all these items is just 4 of them. Two of them being wastes of slots, and two of them needing the other to really be the best.
Yeah.
Really good at covering Sniper's weaknesses and are extremely unfun to play against. He's so
unfun.
No other class can contend with him at long range, yet at the same time he still gets so many options to defend himself at close range, but he's supposed to
I mean,
be
the sniper, that's probably going to easily kill the sniper. He was just being stupid and not shooting him.
Yeah, he had his knife out the whole time because he was begging for that trick stab.
He was really fucking trying to stab him.
I don't know.
Really hard.
It's so silly. Why don't you just shoot the guy? You're not. Don't play the game for the frag clips. Just play for the frag clips, dude.
That, with his weapon unlocks, being able to completely shut down the very classes that are.
Oh, we're in the MDM footage here! Yay!
Not to mention that on top
he ran out of footage.
He's already in a very safe position, protected by his teammates in the back line.
Oh no! Last on upward, the point that defense needs to have the most defense sided to actually give them an incentive to defend.
Yeah,
we're complaining about this, are we?
Playing the game, that's an issue. I can't be a skunt flunker and kill the guys.
I have to.
Unplayable.
I can't play spy on easy mode anymore. Oh no.
I can't beat the flunker allegations.
So why does he get this much special treatment? So summing up, Sniper outranges every other class by an insane amount.
He cannot one-shot all of them. What do you even mean by one-shot? Yes, he has to charge the shot, but are you...
He can if you charge, but no.
That's just dishonest phrasing. It leans too far into a misinterpretation of what that means. So...
He'll one-shot every class in the game. He barely provides any information about his whereabouts.
He didn't even talk about how the class silhouette works or the colors up against certain textures. Like, you're not even talking about how to use your eyeballs.
There are very few ways to actually kill him, and even
well, we don't even need to retaliate against that. Many powerful options to contend at close range. Many? It's just Girardi Bushwhacker.
So 2. Got it. Alright.
Because, like, the Razorback and the Darwin's Danger Shield don't even fight. Cozy Camper does really nothing. That's another waste, really, at, like, high skill.
Existed.
Yeah. And then, like, if you want to talk about, like, Cleaner's Carbine Bushwhacker, which also works, that's just mini crits on a slowdown.
I don't even think the Cleaner's Carbine is that bad.
I use it, but I use it in conjunction with another stupid loadout because I give myself the challenge of the classic rifle and the Tribalman's Shiv.
No way!
I'm stupid like that because I know the Tribalman's Shiv is the worst melee in the game, but like... I don't know. I just dig the look of it. It's just cool. Plus, I like the classic.
It does look awesome.
The classic leans into my pre-Fortress muscle memory.
My moment, it really sucks when the weapon is ass, but the unlock looks cool. Like, I don't think the sharpened volcano fragment fits TF2, but it is really cool looking. And the fact the weapon's so ass, it makes me sad.
Yeah, that's what I got with the. I think there's a scout unlock that's like that.
The holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
Maybe the atomizer, but the atomizer's triple jump is somewhat useful. I just don't find myself using it very much.
Unlock. It's a good flat unlock that lets you. That's not that disruptive.
Yeah.
Unlike the previous versions.
I use it in what I call my mobility loadout, which is Soda Popper and Winger. That way I just zoom and most jumping possible. It's great.
Counter them. It's no wonder why he's the most hated class in the game by such a wide margin. While he's definitely not overpowered,
because TF2 players are stupid.
Oh no, he used a Huntsman clip to deal with a spawn camping heavy. Oh no, Sniper had to help his team get out of spawn. Oh, the copium, man.
But how does typical colors 2 compare? You might think that the sight
we don't care, we can skip it. Is this Winter Harvest?
It's Winter Harvest, yeah.
And not really.
Huh.
Yes, it does in fact provide a really good amount of information. But remember
the laser that would fundamentally change Sniper if it was implemented in base TF2, he's arguing doesn't even affect the game here.
Sniper in TC2 really isn't much better than the TF2 one. Basically, if you want to know what I think about typical colors 2 Sniper, take everything I said about TF2 Sniper and
why would we care?
Roblox it. And for the last case study, we'll actually
so why did you mention it? Why did you mention it? I don't know. Oh yeah. We're gonna talk about talk about the Roblox version of TF2, and we're just like not going to.
Because it's literally the same.
We're gonna talk about the Roblox TF2. We're not gonna talk about it.
It's not the same. It's not the same, but it's basically the same.
Yeah, but like, bruh.
So dumb.
And let's time for us to watch the video.
While Counter-Strike 2 and Valorant do possess many differences, they're still quite similar in a lot of ways, and the snipers are no
I hate it when
exception.
people phrase it like
I
that.
want to specifically focus on the op in CS2 and the
These games are not the same,
also
bro.
the op, but spelled differently in Valorant. They're
No.
standouts from other snipers in their respective games because of their infamous ability to be insta-killing machines, dishing out one-shot body shots at any range. It's extremely powerful. The thing is,
Can name the Scout in CS? Can name the Scout? The Scout can't do that.
Counter-Strike
I think he's
and
talking
Valorant
about the
agree.
op.
That's why they're so expensive to purchase in the first place. Because CS2 and Valorant
That's
require
fine.
you to buy guns instead of allowing you to choose whatever you want, they can kind of just put aside most of the work when it comes to balancing. By acknowledging
He's saying that because it's so expensive, it's just an excuse to not balance your game properly. What an insult to the devs.
I mean, no, it being expensive is a balance factor. If you could buy the op on like pistol round, that's like no.
Yeah, that would be terrible. No one would play the game.
Yeah, that would be terrible if you could buy it on pistol round. But like, it's just like that's the balancing factor.
Yeah.
Even then, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could make an argument for the 1.6 in source op, especially considering that like even for the price, I think it's a little too strong because you have really fast movement speed, and it also just automatically declasses the scout immediately. Having like, because the differences between the 1.6 and source version of the scout compared to now is that it used to have 10 bullets per mag, and the movement speed while scoped in was faster. But nerfing that made the scout better. It also just helped that they reduced the price of the scout. But that's
By source, you're talking about CSS and not CSGO, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they're both on the source engine technically, but
Yeah. I don't think source. I usually would just say 1.6 because they're the same game, except one's worse. Anyway, yeah, we should pause.
that yes, this gun is incredibly powerful, so we'll just make it hard to attain by making it cost a lot to buy. This goes to show you
That
you
sounds
can
fine.
That's fine, though.
increase range
What's
and
wrong
damage
with
in
that?
exchange for a lower fire rate and slower weapon handling to create a gun that is just as fair to
Valorant
play as
isn't
any other
real.
kind of gun. While
Stop
games
it.
like Counter-Strike and
Game
Valorant
isn't
have an
real.
answer to the
What
problem
is
of
this
how you're
game?
supposed to balance a gun that both outranges and outdamages
oh look, the vacuum.
every other gun, it's not an option most other games have.
There's a
Despite
reason why
everyone's
Sniper
understanding of the
isn't
financial
allowed to
sacrifice that anyone
MGM
using an op has to make, it
in
doesn't make it
MGE. There's a reason why Sniper isn't a valid class in a lot of MGE servers. It's because the game functions so that even if you are excellent with Sniper, the maps are set up to where the movement is far superior to your aim most of the time.
Yeah, in a vacuum, he wouldn't be wrong that sniper would probably be a problem, but we don't live in the vacuum.
And no one designs games in a vacuum. No one makes vacuum games. That's
We
because
live
it's
on the
retarded.
floor.
Yeah.
We're like the crumbs on the floor. We're not in the vacuum.
Yeah. Not yet anyway. Wahaha. Until we get thrown out and we
Yeah,
die in the landfill.
Yeah.
That's frustrating to suddenly die to one out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
So,
Wait, what
now
was his
let's
username? Gaylord?
I think so.
No way.
the reasons why I think snipers are such a flawed category of guns, and I've shown you firsthand multiple games where snipers have caused many issues.
He barely elaborated on even
Four.
1%
Yeah, four
of the
games.
nuance
Obviously,
for
the bottom
any of
line is
them.
that snipers are very complicated.
One
They have a
game.
lot
I don't
of
know
issues that
why
make them
I
hard
bought
to
a
balance,
PS5
and are
gun
most
games to buy.
importantly, exceedingly annoying. So with all of that in mind, what instead makes for a sniper that's both balanced and fun to play against?
Bro uses the auto
here's my
sniper as
attempt
the
to
thing,
figure that
bro.
out and propose solutions.
Hey
that
man,
address
it's a
the
video
issue
essay.
and
He's
point
just
out that
grabbing
snipers-
random
We're not
assets.
proposing any
To
solutions.
establish that snipers
No, he proposed no solutions.
are guns
Not
that
yet, anyway.
sacrifice fire rate and close range effectiveness for high damage, accuracy, and range. Snipers should be relatively confined to these traits, meaning a combination of these should be
These are his proposed solutions for sniping as a mechanic, flat out.
I mean, a lot of games already do the inaccurate hip firing.
Yeah,
That's just like
that's common sense, really.
not really important.
Yeah, or at least in a game like TF2, the hip
Reverse
firing
damage follow-ups,
is still
like,
accurate, but you
no,
can't headshot
That would
with
be
it.
inconsistent. It would make everything feel unintuitive. Slow weapon handling. I think a lot of games already do this. Like Battlefield does this. It works pretty well. So he proposes we should add the TF2 mechanic to every game. That's not a good idea.
That would be ridiculous. Can you imagine Counter-Strike with a chart? And also, considering
that'd be
once
awful.
again, considering his footage and how he's been using headshotting regardless of sniper rifles, that implies that you also need to charge up your headshots for
We're gonna make
pistols.
snipers the worst weapon in the game.
Just out of spite. This is what I mean in my video script when I talk so much about spite changes. There are just so many things
Spite.
people talk about out of spite for dying in one particular way. And if this was
is
talked
like
about
when
with any other
R/TF2 is
type
the
of...
pipeline on 58.
Yes. Yeah, seriously. It's all so silly. It's all so silly. especially the inaccurate hip firing makes sense, and the
I don't think
natural
we're gonna be able to
exception.
do all these videos in one day. I have to go in like 2 hours. I'm gonna get the Arch video done because I think I've heard stories. I want to like.
Okay, we'll
break
do
it
the Arch
down.
video next then. Yeah, but like the one thing is that like if you're not gonna have an accurate hip firing, do it like TF2 where the base damage is low and you just can't headshot.
Yeah, exactly. In the case, you can't have both inaccurate hip firing and the damage charge up.
Yeah.
Those just don't work together.
Because that would mean like. I mean, it's like the casual thing where, like, what is like one guy at our server talk about where it's like, you can have auto scrambles and stuff, but with skill-based
like
matchmaking and constantly being active,
mentality.
it's such a Tamal activity.
Isn't in all snipers. Remember,
It wouldn't surprise me one bit if he actually thought that.
And not shotguns. Second, snipers
Small
should
isn't
provide
real.
information about their location and have ways to do something about a player using one. That means players should both easily be able to locate a sniper and easily find themselves with options to physically retaliate against one. I personally believe that snipers
Grenades should be back
Yeah,
in
like a
TF2.
flashbang, like you just used in the video.
Grenades should be back in TF2 to specifically counter sniper and nothing else. With that said, we've solved it. We just make it TFC.
Yeah, we have back grenades, and we also have back the nail gun. Make it like TF2C, and we still based.
That would be so funny. The PF2 one's better, honestly, because it has more ammo and larger clip.
I can't play PF2 because there's no players.
True.
standard when it comes to providing information. Because unlike other methods who only provide information after a sniper has taken a shot, Sniper Scope Glint constantly reveals a sniper's location, even
Oh my
if they
god,
haven't
bro
fired
uses
it.
Battlefield
As for how
2042.
snipers
No,
should be
this video is over.
No, that
Bro uses Battlefield 2042 footage
as I
instead of
highlighted
actual
just how
Battlefield.
dependent it is on the already existing systems of a shooter game. You can't just add Titanfall 2 movement to any shooter on a whim, and not every game is Counter-Strike where you get to use flashes and
Nah, yes, you can. That would be Kino.
So
and
if your
you-
ability
and
to
you
read
know
That'd be kinda cool.
against a sniper is largely determined
Oh,
by
he's playing that
underlying-
comp map, the comp version of
Yeah, but it's in
Viaduct.
Roblox this time.
They're playing product in
and
Roblox.
mostly
That's crazy.
unchangeable factors in a shooter, what exactly can be done to ensure that our counters are snipers?
Or maybe it's just like the
out of
default
everything
version
there is,
in
map
that.
design
I
is
don't
by
know.
far the most
It would be
impactful.
weird that the competitive redesign of
If we're
Viaduct
actually
would
gonna
be the
break down
default.
Dust 2 for
Last
being a
but
bad
not
map,
modified,
that's
that is
no,
also
please
applicable
no.
to any
Because
shooter.
sightlines, bro.
Good map
Sightlines.
design can easily prevent snipers
There's
from being
not
too
much
powerful when there are
sightlines on this
fighters.
map.
He has to be rage baiting at this point, bro.
Long, we have tunnels. Those are like the only sightlines. Even then, these are all counterable. I just don't understand, like why.
The skill
If it
issue,
does
the
do
skill
it,
issue
it's not like
permeates
this
all
map, apparently.
objectivity, my guy.
It has the upward citrus where people don't like the map because they play it too much. It's like Upward and Badwater, right? People say they don't like
2-4.
Upward and Badwater not because they're badass, but because they're overplayed.
I've always seen Dust as the 2 fort of CS, but I can't tell if it's Office or actually Dust 2.
I'd say Office because Office and 2-4 are not really both good maps, and they're like not ideal, and they're just like outdated, you know. Like 2-4 isn't really like designed in a lot in mind with like modern day TF2 or even like launch TF2. It's more of just the holdover from Quake. Office is like the same thing where the game was more designed with hostage rescue in mind.
Yeah. I see. Okay.
So
Yeah, it does seem like Office would be a more
compared to that,
hostage-friendly
but
map.
like Dust 2 is like the upward.
Oh,
It's
I
like
see.
the upward of this game.
That's crazy.
Actually, no. This is Badwater. No, actually, better right now. This is the Badwater of this game. Mirage is the upward of this game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense. I wonder what the Whatville of
because
this
they're
game
both
would
the
be
most
then.
played maps in the entire game.
What would be the Whatville of this game then?
I don't think there is a Whatville.
Oh, thank God.
Even like the worst maps, at least I could see redeeming qualities in them.
Dang.
Obstacles preventing overly impressive sniper sightlines. However, on the other hand, if you're not careful, bad map design can just as easily make snipers
He's talking
overpowered.
about last on any payload map having longer sightlines to help the defensive team.
Yeah.
When the
But,
offensive
the
team
funnier
can leverage
thing-
them too.
The funnier thing is that we're playing payload.
I mean, no, not payload. The funnier thing is that we're playing Phoenix.
Phoenix
Of course,
specifically.
this map, the final stage on this map is just like
It's
ass.
cancer for
you know,
every
it's like
reason.
what Wheezy said, right? I agree with Wheezy in that video. In that, like, the map is literally the drawing horse doodle thing, right? It's like the first stage isn't that. I mean, it's not good, but like the first stage is like fine, and the rest of the map is like, bruh.
Yeah.
So if anything, map design is the one thing every shooter really needs to get right to keep snipers in check. Past that,
Yeah, but map design is kind of the one
just
thing,
like every shooter,
they make
period.
their bullets
regardless of the
If
weapons
the game
involved.
has
Yeah.
bad maps, no one's playing it.
Yeah, but it's also bad relative to, you know, the built-in mechanics of the game already. So it's not even sniper specific.
Yeah.
It's literally the rest of the game on as well, because that's how game design works. The more and more I do stuff like this, the more and more I realize I don't think I actually like interact with games as a gamer anymore, and I interact with them much more as a game designer. Because like at this point, I'm just making cases for basic game design, like logic that like the game developers that I'm contracted to work with understand, and it's a single player game. So it's like, what are you talking about, man?
Now, the funny thing is, right, is that when you look at things this way, your standards are better.
True. Yeah. Because you can actually have a good
It's actually
point of reference for how things work. You can actually get a good idea of truth for all of this, like capital T and lowercase t truth, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
You can like actually measure things out.
effective yet underrated way to make fighting a sniper more fair and fun. In comparison to hit-scan snipers, erratic movement...
Okay, that silent is kind of bullshit.
Only because there's, I don't think that rock was supposed to be that exploitable.
Yeah, I think they just forgot to clip it, and they're like, well, fuck, guess we're having it there now.
Yeah, that's an accident.
Therefore, it's easier to close the distance.
Yeah.
The catch is that obviously
They get
not all
easily
shooters
fixed, though. They
have
should have, like,
projectile-based
push trigger to
guns,
push them
and
out
are
of
instead
the-
exclusively based
Yeah.
on hit-scan combat.
pseudo clip rush.
implementing projectile-based bullets for only snipers...
I don't understand
easier
how
to
he
close
thinks
the
that
distance.
Valorant clip
The catch
is
that
a
obviously
sniper
not all
problem as much
shooters
as it
have
is
projectile-based
more than one
guns,
person
and
was
are
there and you
instead
can't
exclusively
focus
based
fire
on-
2 people at point blank with you. Like, look at this.
Yeah,
You're gonna
that's
die.
just- that-
You're
yeah.
just gonna die.
This happens in Counter-Strike too. It's just like you're going to die. You're going to kill one guy, but you're just going to die.
This happens in every game too. Like this happens in TF2
Oh
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
time.
This can happen in every game, but in games like this, they're just more common.
And this is in a freaking like a 4v4 setting too. Like look how many people are alive still.
I mean, it is 5v5, but yeah, it is.
Oh, it's fives. Okay, sorry, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how Valorant works. I don't know how it works. I
I
see
don't
it
like
as just.
Valorant's a piece of shit game.
I just see it as Counter-Strike ripoff with like terrible colors.
It's Counter-Strike, but really, really bad because it's not appeasing those guys and it's appeasing Overwatch players, so it really just appeals to nobody.
Wow.
Hit-scan combat. So if
How is that sniper? Look at that. It's an assault rifle. That's an assault rifle that killed him. The
Yeah, he
frick?
died to an assault rifle. The fuck.
It doesn't even have a head icon unless that's what the crosshair symbol means in the death icon, and that's like a headshot. But even
I'm
still,
pretty sure I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I think it means headshot.
well, in that
think
case,
it's
that he's definitely arguing for just no headshotting. Period.
No headshots. No headshots.
You know what this means too is that like outside of sniper rifles having like bullet drop and like all this other stuff that he's been talking about, the engine this implies that an appropriate way to calculate headshot damage in games that have more weapons dealing headshots than just snipers, the engine itself has to calculate whether or not the bullet is going to reach the head hitbox, like dependent on scenarios, and then transform it into a projectile instead of hit scan on the millisecond, which is impossible
it's
to
just
code
impossible.
because that will break the engine so fast.
Even if you did build the engine right, it's just like not only is it not worth it, but like I don't think you could like actually program that without getting like a syntax error or something.
Yeah,
You're
well,
just
no,
not
there's
gonna
too
be able
many.
to.
There's too many nuances to take into account, and you would just break the calculations of everything because it would. I think it would start recognizing it as non-Euclidean
Yeah.
math at a point.
If you have to do that to balance sniper, then you should just remove the sniper from your game at that point.
or you do have a perfectly flawed understanding of how sniper works, but that's. You know,
That
yeah.
too.
Assuming that sniper was that broken and you did have to do that for design, yeah, you might as well just throw him out because that's way too cumbersome.
Yeah.
implementing projectile-based bullets for only snipers would take extra effort, be an outlier amongst every other gun, and plus it no doubt completely changes how a sniper feels to use. So that's it. For me, good snipers are ones that are kept confined to their role of specializing in medium to mostly long range. There's risk to using them because they provide information to the enemy about your location, juxtaposing
Oh, there you go, you
power
countered a
from
sniper.
outranging
Wonderful.
and outdamaging any other kind of
Yeah, you
threat.
gave information.
Map design takes into account sightlines and flank routes, making sure they're tailored to keep snipers in check.
Flunker.
And most
Borderline flunker.
one that's in a game that it actually
Stupid
belongs to.
flunker.
Because at the end of
Stupid
the day,
flunker.
the best way to solve all the
Oh, he just killed that guy with an assault rifle. Probably headshotted him
problems
too.
that come with snipers
Yeah.
is just to not
I
have
don't.
one.
No.
Not
No.
every shooter-
Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
I don't think he had
Good
shit. Wait. Yeah.
snipers,
Wait.
one that's in a
Wait. Let me
game
check
that
the.
it actually
Let me
belongs
see the
in.
kill feed.
Because at the end of the day, the best way to solve all the
Oh
problems
no, that wasn't.
with
I don't think that was
snipers
headshot. It would have showed the icon. Oh
Okay.
well.
Listen to this. Listen to this. This is
one that's in
his
a game that it
brilliant
actually
thesis.
belongs in. Because at the end of the day, the best way to solve all the problems that come with snipers is just to not have one. Not every shooter is able to facilitate
No
the
way.
existence of snipers with its design, and so it might be.
He says not every shooter
Not
can
ironically,
facilitate a
based, because then
sniper.
he would have everyone shut the fuck.
He says that not every shooter can facilitate a sniper, and then he's using TF2, the game that literally, the franchise that literally invented first-person shooter sniping. Like, people think it's GoldenEye 007. It's actually Quake Team Fortress, 1996.
I mean, I don't think it's actually the one that invented it, but it probably is one of the first multiplayer ones to do it.
It is, from what I can find, it's at least the first multiplayer FPS that designed headshot damage as a mechanic separate to standardized damage. It is, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
that
really
old.
fair.
Headshot
I
damage
just don't think
in
it's the first one to
team-based.
make a sniper rifle.
No, but like as far as
Yeah.
first-person fully 3D first-person shooters go, which Quake was already like revolutionizing, you know, like from
Yeah.
Doom. This Quake Team Fortress was the game. The headshot mechanic
Yeah, I
in
wouldn't be
team-based
surprised.
first-person shooters turns 30 years old this year.
Oh shit!
Yeah, August. August is it's actually the same
That
day
means-
that Valve founded the Valve was founded. Ironically, it was also the day that Team Fortress 1.0 was
gosh.
released. It's crazy, right?
That
The same
means
day.
That means like TFC is almost like 30 years old in like 2 years. What the hell?
Yeah, well, 1999, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, 3 years. So that means that also means the original Counter-Strike mod is fucking 30 years old. Oh my gosh. Anyway,
Yeah.
better off just to not have one. If you think that sounds a bit
Well, Half-Life 1 was
Sniper
98, so
Sniper.
well,
yeah.
then let me end off by showing you this video made by Shunik, in which he does.
This video was terrible. This video was so bad.
You want to guess what
No.
one of the top comments was? Study shows Sniper literally adds nothing to the game other than making it less fun. And that's why snipers were the
No.
worst thing that happened to
Cool.
shooters.
And that's it. Yeah, that's the video right there.
Coping's finally okay. let's.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go AFK. I'm gonna get a drink and then we can
Okay.
start here.
I will do the same.